Jamal Nias here with Shane McGuigan. First fight with Anthony Fowler coming up this weekend as your new partnership. How are you feeling heading into it?
Yeah, feeling good, mate. Just the unfortunate news was obviously that Jack Flatley pulled out. But with that, we're just trying to improve. Well, I'm just trying to improve Ant as a boxer. Do you know what I mean? It was not like we were, it was a wasted campaign. We were still going to have a good opponent. So just looking forward to getting somebody now confirmed. I think we'll have someone in the next couple of hours. And it's been great. He's been a real good addition to the camp. He's a good, positive guy. Lots of funny stories. So yeah, we've had a good time.
I mean, Jack has been grinding his way up in the Greater Manchester community for a long time. So it would have been a real good test, not just for Jack, but for Anthony as well, having someone chomping at the bit for that opportunity. Obviously, you don't know who that is going to be now. So how does it change your approach to things? Is it just a case of Anthony freshen up his tools in his arsenal?
That's it. I mean, I've asked the matchmakers for a similar opponent, quite an aggressive sort of guy, because we've had quite a lot of aggressive sparring, guys coming at him and stuff. But yeah, we'll see what they sort of provide. But I mean, the thing is he's Olympian. Do you know what I mean? He's been used to going around all the world, travelling and not knowing who's going to box until the night before, sometimes even on the day. So I don't think it would deter him too much. It's just for us making sure that we don't want to be struggling down to championship weight if this is going to be at 11-4 or something like that, 11-3 if an opponent can come in. So that's the only issues that I've got. In terms of the opponent, it doesn't really make a difference. Obviously, as long as we get someone that is going to come and have a go and not going to lie down as soon as Anthony hits, and we want someone to come and have a fight. Because we've done all this hard training for, we don't want it to just be over in 30 seconds.
Anthony mentioned in a previous interview that as soon as you guys had that first session, that it was something that immediately clicked, and not just in training, but the advice that you were giving outside as well. Did you feel the same from your perspective as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, myself and Anthony, we did a little bit of work after the Olympics, but at the time. We didn't choose to sort of work together. I had a pretty hectic schedule. Obviously, at the time, I was training Hay and George and Crampton and all that sort of stuff. So, he went with David Caldwell, and they had a good start to their career. I think they ended on decent terms. But as soon as he gave me the phone call, I thought, all right, let's come down, do a trial, and we gelled well. We gelled well initially. It's just certain circumstances allowed us to collide at this stage, and I really believe, for me moving forward, he's already had one blemish on his record. It's a good thing, because as much as it annoys him, it's taught him the harsh lessons of professional boxing, and you can't take your eye off the mark for 2 seconds and expect to win when all these guys are game and they're all coming to win. So he has to make sure he ticks every box from now on.
You mentioned as well that Anthony came to you before that split with Dave happened, and you went back to him and said, look, go and have that conversation with Dave first, because I don't want to step on anyone's toes or anything.
Yeah. No, this was years ago. This was before he turned professional. Yeah. So.
But even when that was happening, when the split was happening, wasn't there a conversation in between?
He said, look, I'm leaving. First off, he said, I'm parting ways with Dave, and I said, okay. And I said, have you told him? And he went, yeah, we're in the middle of the discussion, because I don't want to be seen to be taking someone's fight, because it's happened to me in the past, and I wouldn't want it for any other coach. So I sort of made sure he had that discussion with Dave, and he had that. So I said, look, we'll entertain him, entertain it in discussion. We sat down, and we clicked really well.
I think that is a testament to you as well, because, like I said, you've had it done to you in the past, and it does happen sometimes in boxing. There are very unclean breaks between coaches and fighters. Do you think that in the future, hopefully, things between fighters and trainers can be a lot more apparent and clean cut? Because I think Anthony dealt with it very well in what he said.
He did very well. At the same time, I was having a split with Josh Taylor that I trained for 5 years, and we never had a conversation. That's the wrong way to do it. And there is right ways, and even doesn't matter where you're going in your career, you just got to make sure, You have to make sure you do things right for the boxer. It's a short career for them, but there is a right and wrong way of doing it, and dealt with it very well.
You mentioned that split with Josh Taylor. How are you feeling towards that right now? Is that relationship truly gone, or have there been conversations since?
Yeah, we haven't been in discussions, but I wish him all the best, and he's got his fight on May the 2nd, and from my perspective, I've done a lot of hard work towards him, and I hope he goes on and keeps winning.
And it doesn't change your approach to training fighters as well, because I think you did say that it made you feel like those years of time that you'd put in, it did feel like a bit of a waste for yourself. That's a separate occasion, you don't carry that feeling and emotion into any other?
I've had a hard year last year, personally, and that's why I made those statements. But fighters have left me in the past, and I don't really hold any grudges towards anyone, really. As I said, it's a short career, and fighters need to be selfish, and that's that. And
overlooming this whole Anthony Fowler journey with you is the rematch of Scott Fitzgerald, which everyone wants to see. I'm guessing that you would love to see it. In summer, Eddie mentioned the idea of maybe a stadium fight at Preston North End Stadium. How amazing would that be for yourself and Anthony?
Huge. The other option is potentially do it in the Echo Arena in Liverpool. So I think they just got to work out the dates. But we're already working on that fight. We're looking at July. I would even prefer if it was in June, but July will still be adequate. I think Scott wants to fight in May. I think he's going to be boxed on May the 2nd, and he wants a little run out, get himself active again, and then that'll be a great fight. It's what British boxing needs. They want these young guys coming through to challenge each other. We had Josh Taylor versus Zahara Davies at the early part of their career. You had Isaac Chamberlain versus Lawrence Coley early on in their career. James DeGale versus George Groves. Guys that are challenging themselves really early against domestic but unbeaten guys, and I think that's what boxing's all about. And I'm really looking forward to that one. I really believe that Anthony will beat him and potentially stop him in the return. But it's got to go and do it now.
Is the bad blood something that you'll be talking to Anthony about prior to the fight, not letting that tension boil over? Because he's mentioned to me previously that there's no ill feelings from his perspective, so it will only be from Scott if something does boil over.
No, I think they're both true professionals. There's probably a bit of needle from back in the GB days. Maybe they were friends, and but it's just boxing. You have to sort of. As a lot of fighters have to get themselves up for it, and they have to badmouth people just to get that little bit of bit between the teeth and make sure they train that extra 5%. But I know that Ant wants to beat him, but not personally. He just wants to beat him up and get the win, so he can clean his record and prove that was a bad night for him.
And just finally, Saturday night, how different of an Anthony Fowler do you think fans should expect on Saturday night?
Well, first off, it's down to his opponent and what his opponent comes out and how good he is. But I really believe you'll see him. He'll be a bit more fleet-footed. He'll be behind the jab a little bit more, setting things up. Not so aggressive. He's had a tendency in the past to be quite aggressive and force the action. A bit more patient and work on his counter-punching. But this is. We've had our first camp together, and you're going to gradually see the progression, I believe. I think you'll still see a different improvement in his style, the way he shapes up.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time. Cheers, mate. Appreciate that.